What's up guys, XHOUNDISHx here, and today I wanted to do a quick review of the Dawning event and give some of my thoughts about it, because essentially I feel like this is a big step forward for Destiny's live event system, which by extension is of course important for the future of Destiny, that is until Destiny 2 drops, but also beyond that we'll need plenty of content to keep us going, and I for one think they're headed in the right direction. So if you remember back to the Festival of the Lost not that long ago, we were pretty concerned about the state of live events in the game, because really, bar a few short activities, it was just a way to introduce a load of paywalled drops and people were not happy. What's clear with this event though is that Bungie have really focused on delivering content and making the microtransaction element of the game much more forgiving. Some of this I'm sure is in reaction to how the last event was received, but there was also a bit of development time paid into the new stuff. You know, we have strike scoring and SRL as well as the new gear, so they have been working on this for a while. And that's kind of the first major thing to note about the Dawning event, is just the amount of gameplay, which for a live event is pretty good. Sparrow Racing has new maps which are pretty cool. There's some really good design elements in there as well for the particular game mode, and they've clearly spent some time fleshing it out. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a fair improvement on last year's event. But on top of this, we also have strike scoring, which of course expands the replayability of strikes in general, and this time is sticking around in the game along with the returning Nexus and the other updated strikes. So the cool thing is that live events are actually introducing new gameplay elements which remain a part of Destiny. Just like in the April update we had Challenge of Elders and the new strike, yes, it's all repurposed content in one way or another, but it's better than no content. And the thing I'm taking away from this right now is that, you know, we had Rise of Iron, Festival of the Lost was kind of poor, but the Dawning actually had some flesh on it. If you consider we're likely to get an April update again, we're starting to see a pattern where these much larger updates drop every 3 to 4 months, which is really going to help if they get the content right. Another really great thing about the Dawning is the gear, and it's pretty awesome. Icebreaker has people replaying Nightfalls again, and it's a pretty rare drop, so it kind of feels a little bit nostalgic. It's exciting to play through the Nightfall again, which is pretty great. The new exotic quests for the Thunderlord variants come through completing either of the new activities and leveling up in the record book. I thought the record book itself was actually pretty good this time, and was actually pretty entertaining to complete. From strikes you have the new armor, and then the microtransaction element which has a lot of cool armor and sparrows. On the whole, there's just a lot of content, but unlike Festival of the Cost, you can actually pick stuff up fairly easily or by investing some time into gameplay. Again, you may not like microtransactions on the whole, but they're way less stingy than they were before, and honestly I think this is the model they always needed to adopt. I would bet personally that more people have spent money on this event because they've seen other players actually getting the stuff, and if microtransactions have to be a thing, which they clearly do, this is exactly how they should work. On the whole, it's safe to say I've been pretty surprised at how well the Dawning event turned out. I agree that even more content would be better, but if you contrast this event against anything other than the April update we had before, it's a vast improvement. I can't wait to see what they have in store for the April update, or even Crimson Days if that returns. Hopefully they can kind of follow the trend with Crimson Days if it does come back, and seeing as it's PvP based, perhaps we'll see some weapon tuning during that event if at all. The April update could be the big one though, for sure. They've used up all of the strike content in the game, so maybe they'll move on to raids, which would be pretty incredible. And it's worth remembering that the April update would likely be the final update for Destiny 1, so I would bet that Bungie are really working to make it as good as it can possibly be. I think we'll see some really awesome stuff before Destiny 2 drops, but of course when Destiny 2 does drop, there's going to be a lot of content. I would expect an expansion within the first 3 months, and then at least 3 expansions in the first year, and then with the live team and the new studios on board with development, I think that we're going to see some pretty awesome stuff in the game. I also think that what we're seeing with the Dawning event is just a taste of the quality and quantity of what we'll see far more regularly in Destiny 2. Activision and Bungie know how much we want this stuff, and they also know how profitable it can be, which means if they treat it correctly, it'll be a lot of awesome content for us to play. I pretty much rate the Dawning as on a par with the April update. There's not quite as much content in here, but there's a lot of quality on the whole, and I can't wait for what's next. So there you go guys anyway, I just wanted to give a few thoughts because I feel like this is an important step for the game. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments though. If you have enjoyed this video, a like is always appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe for a lot more Destiny content. For now though, have an awesome day.